Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. A big round of applause. My name is Frank Pasquesi, and I have the privilege of being the managing partner of our Chicago office here at Foley and Lardner. And I have to say that every time this event comes around, this is such a special day for us, such a special few months getting ready for it. And like we've discussed with many of you already, there's really no better way to kick off a year than to have these wonderful young students speak to us about Dr. King's legacy. Before I begin, I wanted to kind of cover a few administrative issues and make some introductions, so bear with me. We are thrilled at the level of participation that we've had over the years to grow this to such a special event. So with that, I want to just remind everyone, this event is going to be and is being live streamed right now. So I know we have many friends, clients, and others supporting these wonderful students and their families that are watching us here today. It's also being recorded so that we can watch it afterwards. This is our 6th annual competition, and it's been amazing how it has grown over these years to what it is here today. At Foley and Lardner and our 26 offices around the United States and internationally, we couldn't be more proud to be supporting Dr. Martin Luther King's teachings and giving these wonderful young students a platform for them to share their thoughts with us so that we can celebrate his vision and hopefully inspire the next generation of leaders. When we started this, we said these incredible 4th and 5th grade students really are future leaders that we are watching right before our very eyes, and we'll talk about that a little more, but really amazing the level of talent that we will see here today and have seen over these years. Before we get into the competition, I wanted to mention to you how they earned their place in this final round. We reached out to a number of Chicago public schools throughout the city of Chicago, also to the Boys and Girls Club, and reached out to 4th and 5th grade students to have them participate and make submissions to us over the past several months. Back in December, we narrowed down the submissions like we always do and selected our 10 very best finalists, and they will be presenting to you today 3 to 5 minute speeches. The task that they were given this year was to address the question of what would Dr. King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today. And those students have prepared their speeches. They will be judged on several key aspects: their delivery, memorization, stage delivery, and expression. And you're really going to be, I think, pretty inspired when you see these speeches. Additionally, each of these participants are going to get some very nice rewards. Our first place winner will receive a $1,000 prize, and then our second and third place winners will also receive a monetary award. And additionally, every one of our finalists will also be getting a very nice gift bag with a number of items in it from Foley. And also, really special, Governor Pritzker was kind enough to write a personalized letter to each of the finalists, so they will have a letter from the governor. One thing we want to remind is these students have already achieved an incredible level of success to just be here today. And today is really an opportunity to celebrate our wonderful students here and to hear from your voices. We learned so much from you and are so inspired by what these young kids and young minds can bring to us, and we're proud at Foley to be a small part in giving them that platform. I know I met with some of the students this morning and I asked them what they want to be when they grow up, and it's really amazing, whether it's a doctor, someone this morning said they want to be a biomedical engineer as a 4th grader, kind of amazing, to a teacher, to a journalist, to being a judge. You know, this is an opportunity to realize you can be anything you want to be, and to have the success you kids have already had is really incredible at this age. I know so many of us speak about the fact that when we were 4th and 5th grade students, we never did anything like this. And when you get to our age and you see these moments, what I'm inspired by, and I have, 5 kids of my own, there are certain moments in your life where you are truly moved emotionally, to see something that's truly extraordinary. And today we're going to see that, and this event reminds us of that each and every day. I do also want to give some special shout outs because these students wouldn't be here today without the help of a lot of folks. First, I want to thank all the teachers and Chicago Public School administrators. What a wonderful job you all have done, and what a great profession you all are a part of. I know some of the students have told me they want to be teachers, and that is just really incredible. And I know how much time and effort has gone in over these many months, going back 6 months, where you've worked with these students to prepare them for today's competition, really inspiring them and nurturing to be here. It's really incredible. The Boys and Girls Club of Chicago, I want to give a special shout out to the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. At Foley & Lardner, we've been very proud. We were the first law firm to establish a national partnership with the Boys and Girls Club across the country, and we've made it very local here, connecting with our local Boys and Girls Club. And so for the past several years, we've had a couple of participants from the Boys and Girls Club make our finalists, and we are thrilled to continue that connection with the Boys and Girls Club and our community and that collaboration that we do together. Additionally, I'd like to welcome our panel of judges. We have had such success with this program and our judges that we couldn't be more proud of the group we've put together here today. And I'll introduce them. We got a really great group of folks. So first, I want to welcome and identify Judge Rebecca Pallmeyer. Judge Pallmeyer has been the chair of our finals panel of judges for each of our 6 years. Judge Pallmeyer was appointed and nominated to the federal bench by President Clinton back in 1997. And one thing that's very special about her is not only was she the chief judge of our Northern District of Illinois, but in 2019, when she was appointed the chief judge, she was the first woman to serve in that role, leading a federal court in Chicago in its over 200-year history, a truly extraordinary accomplishment. I'll go in alphabetical order with the rest of our judges here, and we have a special guest here. Arshay Cooper is with us. I'm going to introduce Arshay here. Arshay is our first-time judge. He is a rower, did crew. He was a best-selling author, been recognized with a number of awards, including the two-time Golden Oar recipient for his contributions to the sport of rowing. He's a motivational speaker, an activist, and his book that he wrote became a movie that he was in. It was called A Most Beautiful Thing. All the participants will be getting that book, and encourage you to see the movie as well. Arshay grew up on the west side of Chicago, and in 1997, he joined and later became the captain of the country's first all-black high school rowing team at Manly High School. An experience that, when you get a chance to speak with Arshay, truly changed his life. And it's events like this that we try to not only see what the students have to say, but make connections with these students afterwards and have you inspire them just like they've inspired us. And Arshay, thank you for being here. His second book will be getting published in the fall by HarperCollins, and we will look to do something together with Arshay at that as well. So thank you, Arshay, for being here. Also with us today is John Gaydu, who is the Vice President and Deputy General Counsel of Cummins Incorporated. Cummins is a multinational corporation that designs, manufactures, and distributes engines, filtration, and power generation products. In 2011, he joined the company and has had several roles over the past decade there, all of increasing responsibility. And he has served as their global lead lawyer for the company's crisis management team and as assistant corporate secretary. And one thing he's also done in the past few years is he has co-led a police reform group as part of an initiative at Cummins called Cummins Advocating for Racial Equality, called CARE. He's been a big part of that, and thank you, John, for all you've done and for being here today. We have next Lisa Gock. She is the Chief Legal Officer at Cetera Financial Group. Lisa's been here a number of years with us as a judge, and we welcome her back. She had a 3 decades year-long legal career where she served in the U.S. Department of Justice, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and also served as an assistant United States attorney in the criminal division of the U.S. Attorney's Office in the District of Columbia. And so she has, and now serves as the Chief Legal Officer of Cetera, where she advises the board and its senior leadership on all of their legal issues. Thank you, Lisa, for being here. Also here today is Z. Scott. She's been one of our judges each and every year. She is the president of Chicago State University and serves as their 12th president since 2018. She's been that president. Recently, President Scott oversaw the development and advancement of the Chicago State University strategic plan, ensuring that the institution will lead with the mission of transformation for students' lives through innovation and excellence and ethical leadership. President Scott has been a well-known leader and advocate for equity in higher education, having formed and co-chaired the Equity Working Group, a body of leaders across education for public, private, and philanthropic groups, and for celebrating and addressing Black student access and success in Illinois higher education. Thank you, Z, for being here yet again. I'm pleased also to welcome Sarah Sharp. Welcome, Sarah. She's a first-time judge with us. She is a senior counsel at Cummins and also chairing now their global litigation. She is a graduate of Purdue University and the University of Indiana School of Law. And she's been at Cummins now since 2018. And we are thrilled to have you also be here with us today. So thank you, Sarah. We have a few more of our esteemed panel that I'm going to get through here now, so appreciate your patience. Also today, we have Charles Smith. Charles is the founder and CEO of CS Insurance Services, a division of Marsh McLennan Agency. Charles heads up the Chicago office. Before that, he headed up the Chicago office of West Insurance Agency, one of the largest minority-owned commercial insurance brokerages in the United States. And then since then sold his company and now works with Marsh in that role. Charles also has currently been serving as the vice chair of World Business Chicago, where he works hand in hand with Mayor Johnson on developing initiatives to generate and draw business to the city of Chicago. He's also had experience serving as an Illinois delegate and did so at the Democratic National Convention for President Obama and recently this past year as well. So thank you, Charles, for being here today. I'd also like to welcome Kyle Thomas from Optum. Kyle has been a judge here for several years with us as well. He joins us from Minnesota, where he serves as the Senior Associate General Counsel for Optum, overseeing litigation across the company. In addition to his business roles, he's also served as a board of directors for People Incorporated, dealing with mental health services. He's been doing that since 2016. So thank you, Kyle, for being here yet again. And lastly, I'd like to welcome Andy Zopp. Andy currently is at Cleveland Avenue, where she leads the organization's work by investing in and supporting minority and women entrepreneurs and their companies. She previously served as the president and CEO of World Business Chicago, where she led the organization's mission of inclusive economic growth, supporting businesses and promoting Chicago as a leading global city. Andy has had a very distinguished career of executive leadership, where she has held very senior positions at several Fortune 500 companies, including Exelon, Sears Holdings, Sara Lee, and the Chicago Urban League. She's also a former federal prosecutor and assistant United States attorney. In fact, she was the first woman to serve, the first African-American woman to serve as the first assistant for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. So thank you to our distinguished panel of judges. As I mentioned before, this is our 6th annual competition. And so each year we've seen this event grow. And one thing we always try to do is make connections with not just the students and their families, but we try to maintain those connections, and we hope to do this for many, many years into the future. With that in mind, today we want to make a special announcement that for the first time, we're going to have in this competition a former contestant, one of our prior winners, serve today as an honorary student judge. So please join me with a special round of applause to welcome the first place winner from our 2021-22 program, Peyton Sawyer. Peyton? Peyton is here today. She is an 8th grader at Kenwood Academic Center. And in 2023, Peyton participated after winning the competition. She participated in the National History Day competition, where she also presented a performance as Ida B. Wells and as a journalist engaging in an interview. Peyton participated in these competitions at the state and national rounds and did fantastic. She maintained straight A's, runs cross country and track, and is dancing. In fact, Peyton started a pre-professional dance program with the Chicago Multicultural Dance Center and performs with the Black Dance Legacy Project at Millennium Park. And in 2022, Peyton noted during her Good Day Chicago interview after she was the winner that she wanted to become a journalist when she grew up. She tells us today that she still is interested in majoring in journalism, and afterwards she would like to attend law school and become a political analyst covering elections and debates. Very ambitious. I'm going to ask Peyton to come up here now, if you wouldn't mind, Peyton. And you couldn't have better role models around this room for you to speak with afterwards to address some of your goals and issues that you'd like to pursue. So with that, I'll welcome Peyton up here, and I just want to give her a chance up here. Why don't you go right here? So Peyton, what I wanted to ask you maybe to sit out here, what we've had her do in the past years is she's met privately with some of our students before they perform to give them words of encouragement. And today we'd like to ask you, when you look at all of these student finalists that are out there today, maybe tell us, what it is about this competition that was so meaningful to you, and if you have any other words of encouragement or advice that you'd like to offer our students here today.
Okay. First off, I would like to say congratulations to all the finalists in the competition. You should be very proud of your work so far. And this competition really sparked my interest in journalism and led me to go to nationals for the 2023 History Day competition. And some words of wisdom for the young finalists. You guys are going to do great no matter what happens. You should be proud of yourself and all the work that you've done so far.
That's great. Thank you. Well done. Please go back to your seat. As I mentioned, we've had some of our past winners giving words of advice, and it's really created a wonderful community among these students. And I did just want to give a recognition that we have 2 of our past participants that are here today. We have Trinity Owens, who was our first place winner in 2023. Trinity, you here? Can you stand up, please? And also Joy Lee, she was our 3rd place winner at the 2023 program. Joy, you want to stand up? Thank you both for your time with these students. And as I mentioned, we look to create this legacy. Someday I hope that we'll be announcing the first student that Foley and Lardner hired to come work for our firm. These are the kind of connections, or even with our judges. I know they spend a lot of time afterwards getting to know our judges, and it's these kind of connections that we really want to foster. So thank you for all of the things you are doing to make this so special. I am now honored to introduce my friend and colleague, Illinois State Senator L.G. Sims. Senator Sims represents the 17th Illinois Senate District, which includes portions of the Chicago South Side, the South Suburbs, and parts of Will and Kankakee counties. Before serving in the Senate, he also was in the House of State Representatives in the 34th District, where he built a real legacy of leadership and service. He has been an enormous supporter and advocate for this competition since we started it back in 6 years ago, and since day one, he's really been a wonderful resource and supporter for us. So with that, a special recognition. Please join me in welcoming Senator Sims. Thank you, my friend. I know.
Good morning. Wait a minute. I know it's early, but we got to get some excitement for these participants. So good morning. All right. You know, I was telling somebody earlier, this is one of my favorite events of the year because we get to see some amazing students who are going to do some amazing things. So if this is your first time participating, you are getting ready to see our best and our brightest. They are going to come, they're going to inspire you, they're going to show you that our future is amazingly bright. To our contestants, you know, the fact that you had the courage to get here on this stage, I was not this sharp at your age. So I know for you to be here, it says something. It says something about you. It says something about your families. It says something about the direction of our community. So thank you. I want you to know that there are a couple of things that you are going to need in your life. There are really only 3 bones, and you have started to demonstrate that right now. First, you're going to need a backbone. You're going to need the courage to go places where you have never been able to go before. You're going to need a jawbone so that you can speak your truth and allow people to understand your realities. But also, you're going to need a wishbone, because wishbone is going to let you imagine the possibilities. That's what we're ready to hear from you today. Dr. King, you are stepping into an amazing legacy of leadership. Dr. King wanted you to be right here, being able to stand up and speak your truth. And that wishbone will take you and allow you to do just that. So thank you for being here. To my colleagues at Foley and Lardner, absolutely, give them a round of applause, please. I've got to say this, I have said this privately, but I have to say this publicly to my friend and colleague, our office managing partner. When this came up as a possibility, folks from around, and Frank mentioned that we have offices across this country and really around the world. And when it came up, it came time to have this be an opportunity to showcase the best and brightest of students in the city of Chicago. Frank Pasquesi raised his hand and said, we're bringing that to Chicago. So let's give Frank a round of applause for having leadership and the vision to make that happen. Because the word tells me that when there is no vision, the people will perish. And we have vision, at Foley. We don't want to just be great lawyers, even though we are. We want to be even better citizens. So thank you for being here. Thank you to these students, and for our teachers, thank you for getting them prepared. Give them another round of applause. But as a father of daughters also, I know that the teachers don't do it by themselves. So they have to practice when they get home. So parents, give yourselves a round of applause, because this doesn't happen without you. Now, we've got an amazing program set up for you. I'm gonna take my seat because I want to hear from these students, and I want to hear from this wonderful choir. But thank you all for being here. It is an honor to represent this community in Springfield, but more importantly, it's my honor to see these young people in the direction that they're going to go. God bless. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Senator Sims, for those inspiring comments. It's wonderful to be your partner in this process. So a big round of applause for Senator Sims. And again, to all the teachers, the administrators, parents, guardians, what you have done is incredible, and we look forward to staying in close touch with you as your children continue to grow and move on to their next chapters in life. So with that, I do want to remind that regardless of how this all turns out, ultimately for these students, what you have accomplished is really truly remarkable. We appreciate the effort and time that you have all taken to prepare yourself. These are skills that we think will serve you very well no matter what profession you choose. And one thing we've seen is when you put that kind of effort in, there's truly nothing you can do. You can't do. You are so incredible what you've shown us already at your young age, and we look forward to watching you continue to grow. So with that, you have shown us an incredible amount of dedication. Your efforts are really commendable, and we want to celebrate each of you. Today is, after all, a celebration of the voices that we're about to hear. With that, we're getting ready now to start the official process with that. And are we going to do here now? I think we were going to have our choir come in now. So let me do that right now as we talk about celebrating voices. We appreciate the great effort. The choir got on their bus this morning and made sure to get here. So thank you. This is the Arthur L. Dixon Choir, and we look forward to having them come on stage to set the tone for the celebration we're about to have. So with that, we'll welcome you to the stage. How about another round of applause for the Arthur L. Dixon School? Incredible, incredible. You kids were amazing. This is the kind of emotional connection that you help us build in this room, and I couldn't have thought of a better way to set it up like that. So thank you for preparing us for the celebration of voices we are about to hear after hearing your incredible voices today. I did also want to give another shout out. We have Xavier Jackson here today. He's another one of our prior winners. He was a second place winner in our 23 competition, and Xavier is in the room. I'd like to give him a shout out since he's been working with the students. Thank you, Xavier, for being here. We appreciate that. Okay, so with that, it's now my pleasure to introduce today's MC. She's been with us for all of our competitions here. This is Leanne Trotter from NBC 5 News. Let's give her a big shout out.
So good to be here. Oh my goodness. Everybody looks so beautiful. Give yourselves a big round of applause. I gotta tell you, just like Senator Sims said, this is one of my favorite events to do. And why? Because we have students, young students, making a difference. Now, let me tell you something. As a reporter, I am doing exactly what I wanted to do. I want to interview people and tell stories about people doing good in the community. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When I was your age of the competitors, the 4th and 5th grade, I was afraid to speak in public. I could never have done what you're doing today. But guess what? I put my mind to it. And you can do whatever you put your mind to. Okay? So don't forget that. Am I right, adults? So I always wanted to be a reporter, and I put my mind to it. And what you all are doing is super, super fantastic. All right. So today's program is dedicated to remembering and honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. For nearly 40 years. Our nation has proudly observed the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, taking time to reflect on Dr. King's extraordinary life and enduring legacy. We recognize his actions and words, as well as the profound changes he brought to our communities and society. His contributions remain as relevant and impactful today as they were during his lifetime. Today's competition is a true celebration of Dr. King's legacy. Through this event, we honor him not only by reflecting on his achievements, but also by inspiring the next generation to carry his message forward. And all of you are doing that today. We have an exciting surprise for you. Before the students present their speeches, we would like to share a few special video messages from familiar faces around Chicago. These videos feature Mayor Brandon Johnson, CPS CEO Pedro Martinez, and several other local leaders and notable figures, all offering their encouragement and support for today's program. Let's take a look.
Hello, everyone. It's your Mayor, Brandon Johnson. I applaud all our CPS students who are participating in this year's Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory competition. Congratulations on making it to the final round. The public speaking skills that you have learned and the topics you have explored as part of this competition are important and will serve you well throughout your life. And through this competition, I hope that you have discovered the power of using your own voice. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an incredible speaker, and today you carry on his legacy by speaking about our responsibilities as residents and leaders of today. Congratulations once again, and all the best to all of you today. I'm cheering you on and cannot wait to see what more you will accomplish. I want to thank the Foley and Lardner LLP, and of course the office of my friend, State Senator L.G.R. Sims Jr., for hosting this annual competition and championing our city's young people. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, and I'm thrilled to celebrate the 6th annual MLK Oratory Competition. Thank you to our host, Foley and Lardner, and my dear friend, Senator L.G. Sims, for bringing this opportunity to life again. I want to congratulate every single participant in this year's competition for the achievement of strengthening your voices. By practicing the essential skill of speaking up, you are honoring Dr. King's legacy. You see, Dr. King understood that the path toward justice and equality is not linear, nor can it be walked by one person at one time in history. Rather, the march toward a future that is both just and fair is an ongoing commitment passed down from generation to generation. It is our responsibility as citizens and leaders, both current and future, to wake up every day and rededicate our hearts to making the world better for all. I applaud you all for stepping onto this path together. By participating in this competition, you have already gained invaluable experience and forged new connections. And when the final round has ended and the winners are announced, I hope you all take a moment to reflect on what a gift it is to make your voices heard. I am already so proud of each of you for the bravery and creativity you demonstrated throughout this process. Thank you for harnessing your power to help propel Illinois' story forward. Congratulations again, and good luck.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me. It is my sincere honor to welcome one and all to the 2025 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory Competition. As Illinois Attorney General, I confess that this year's theme question intrigues me. What would Dr. Martin Luther King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today? Well, imagine for a moment a world without recognized leaders. There would be no officials to establish the rule of law and govern accordingly. Without leaders in law enforcement and in the military, we would face greater challenges to keeping peace. Without leaders in the classroom, it would be difficult to educate the next generation of leaders. And indeed, without responsible faith leaders, many would have a challenge maintaining the appropriate moral compass. Without dedicated, effective leadership, it almost goes without saying that organized societies as we know them could collapse. However, if Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. were to see how leadership is sometimes abused today, he would remind us that even the highest, most revered leaders are at the end of any day also citizens of their land, subject to the same rule of law and expectation to respect their fellow citizens. And King would be critical of how some leaders have put themselves above their citizenry and have used tools of fear and division to distract the citizenry from uniting against their autocratic nature. Dr. King would have disdain for the extent to which social media has been manipulated to polarize us and keep us from working together. Dr. King once said, "People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other." Young people, Dr. King would call on you to help our society reverse course. I challenge you to strive to get to know someone different from you, to find out about your difference in a manner that does not further separate you, but also make an effort to learn about all you have in common. To all of the young people present today, I challenge you to pursue dreams that will contribute to the betterment of mankind as a whole. Never doubt your significance. Congratulations to all of the finalists in this competition. No matter what happens today, you should be extremely proud of your accomplishments. I certainly am. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cook County Commissioner Stanley Moore, and I want to congratulate each of you for making it to the final round of the MLK Junior Oratory Competition. As you all know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a well-known leader of the civil rights movement. He fought to end segregation and inequality between the races, and he strived to create a world in which everyone could live in harmony. Dr. King's legacy on even today, and perhaps it is his legacy of peace and equality that truly makes him an inspiration to us all. But what truly made Dr. King special was his ability to speak. His oratory was truly legendary. It is his speeches that etched him into the collective memory of human history. He was able to do this because he understood that words matter. He realized how powerful the spoken word could be in creating change. From his famous I Have a Dream speech at the Lincoln Memorial to his sermon, Mighty Fortresses is Our God, which he gave at the Ebenezer Baptist Church. He used words to move people and to help create a much more just and equitable world. I want to thank the law firm of Foley and Lardner for hosting this competition and encouraging our CPS students. Thank you so much. I'm Stanley Moore.
What would Dr. King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today? Good afternoon or good morning. My name is Myron Hester, and I am the Chief of Network 17 High Schools for Chicago Public Schools. I manage 19 high schools on the south side of the city of Chicago, and I enjoy my job every day. And today, I want to congratulate the students who participated in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory Competition, sponsored by Foley and Lardner LLP, and by Senator L.G. Sims. I want to take this opportunity to tell you how important this is. Public speaking is a lost art, and I think students, you participate in this is the next step for greater things to come. And I want to leave you with this quote by Dr. King. Like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes the personalities and eats away its virtual unity. Hate destroys a man's sense of value and his objectivity. It causes him to describe the beautiful as ugly and the ugly as beautiful, and to confuse the truth with the false and the false with the truth. I hope we understand our obligation today in America, that as citizens, Dr. King talked about love over hate and service to mankind. So students, thank you for your participation. Continue moving forward and remember the inspiring words of Dr. King. Over hate and service if you want to be great. Have a great day.
Hey y'all, it's Joy here, and I'm here to encourage you. If you're nervous, don't let your nerves get to you. You're brave, you're strong, we all believe in you. You got this. Bye!
Congratulations to the finalists and all the students who participated in the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory Competition. I'm so proud of all of your hard work to write, memorize, and perform your speeches. Never underestimate the power of your voice. As Dr. King said in the final speech he would ever deliver, we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Your speeches make me hopeful for a bright future. My grandson is also in 5th grade, and he teaches me so much about your generation. No matter how old you are, you can always actively participate in democracy and advance the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I hope that you continue to use your voice to advocate, educate, and inspire. Congratulations.
Hello everyone, I'm Trinity K. Owens, and I'm excited to represent the Arthur Dixon Elementary School. Go Eagles! A big shout out to all of the amazing 4th and 5th graders out there. I want to keep this message brief because I know how eager you all are for this momentous occasion to unfold. First and foremost, I want to acknowledge you for all of the hard work that you've put in, taking countless hours to practice and going back and forth with teachers and parents to make sure that you're focused and ready. Remember, every moment you've invested in preparing for today is absolutely worth it. So take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy the experience. You represent not just your family and friends, but your school community. Cherish this day as it creates memories that you'll look back on fondly. No matter how the results turn out, your efforts and determination are what truly matter. You've got this. I wish you all the best as we start this new journey.
Hey guys and girls, congratulations on making it to the finals. Everybody here is a winner, no matter the outcome. Remember, it's not all about winning, it's about the effort and what you have learned. Before we get into your speeches, I want to tell you what this speech meant to me. Watching Dr. King's I Have a Dream encouraged me to give it all I had to my own speech. Watching him inspire me to perform with confidence. Now, let's hear those great speeches.
I don't know if I have them. There's the microphone. All right. Are we ready, students? Are we ready to give our speeches? I think we are. Yes, yes, yes. And we're excited to hear from you. And even though they're going to be winners, you are all winners already. So today, 10 4th and 5th grade students from 4 CPS schools, along with participants from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago, will compete. And students will be answering the question, what would Dr. King tell us about our responsibilities as citizens and leaders in America today? As Frank said earlier, students will be judged based on their delivery, content, stage presence, expression, and memorization. Speeches should last between 3 to 5 minutes. And without further ado, let's welcome our first student. Student number 1 is Harmony Daniels from the 4th grade at Wendell Smith Elementary School.
Greetings. I am Harmony Daniels, a 4th grade student from Wendell Smith Elementary School. Can you hear the sounds of America? Can you hear the sounds of righteousness? Can you hear the sounds of justice? Can you hear the sounds of equality? And most of all, can you hear the sounds of responsibility? I hear the sound of Dr. King's quote. Yes, if you want to say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice. I was a drum major for peace. I was a drum major for righteousness. And all other shallow things will not matter. According to Dr. King, what matters is our responsibility to drive America to be more positive, kind, loving, and gentle. The drive to hear the sound of motivation and encouraging others. The drive to lift those up who are facing trials and tribulation in our economy today. What are we doing in our communities to rebuild hope? To rebuild possibility, to rebuild justice, to rebuild our economy. Mental illness in our community is spreading rapidly. The sounds of gunshots in the streets of America are increasing. We have lost insight of our responsibility. We must grab and hold the key to our locked minds and hearts who may have fallen off the American dream. The dream Dr. King had was for us to be responsible citizens. How are you using your key to turn America into a responsible society? I hear the sound of helping our community. I hear the sound of sticking up and defending for our rights. I hear the sound of being a responsible citizen in our school, in our neighborhood, and in our country. I hear the sound of justice for all. You see, I am that drum major, writing letters and marching to our Congress. You see, I am that drum major helping those who are mentally ill. And most of all, I'm that drum major changing America. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I quote, "Little black girls and little black boys, can go to a community where they're not judged for the skin color of their character. You see, we all matter. Racism isn't funny. It's not a joke. Racism is something that is going on today as we speak. It is important to keep our remembrance of Dr. Martin Luther King. Even if he is not in flesh, his dream lives through you and through me. Why should we turn away those who come to this country for a better life? Why should we turn away the homeless who are dwelling for a place of love, support, and comfort? It is my responsibility to ensure the proper laws exist. It is my responsibility, just as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
Thank you, Harmony Daniels. And now, student number 2. That's student number 1. Samira Howard, returning to the stage from the 2023-2024 competition. Now she's in the 5th grade, and she's with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago. Put your hands together.
Persistence, doing something despite it being hard. Confidence, believing in yourself. Independence, making your own decisions. One day in math class, there was a division question I didn't understand. This made me feel frustrated, but during class, I kept trying and didn't give up. Finding the answer made me feel happy because I persisted. Dr. King persisted with peaceful protests and speeches like I have a dream. His fight teaching me that if you can't walk, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but always keep moving. Last year was my first year delivering a speech in front of a crowd of strangers. At first, I was nervous. My heart was pounding. When I stepped on stage, it dropped. But I repeated the word confidence, and it helped me get through my speech. It is important to have confidence in order to believe in yourself. I'm still a kid, but I think about the ways I can be more independent in the future. When I grow up, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to own my own hair and nail business, but I know I have to keep my grades up and work hard to make my dreams come true. I'm thankful for the leaders who came before me, who made it possible for me to have freedom, opportunities, and big dreams. Persistence, confidence, independence. These are what make responsible citizens and leaders in America today. Thank you.
Good job, Samira Howard. All right, student number 3. Caden Phelps, 4th grade, Arthur L. Dixon Elementary.
Hello, my name is Kaden K. Phelps. I am a 4th grade student and I attend Dixon Elementary School. Today, I'll be talking about what would Dr. King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today. Dr. King was born on January 15th, 1929, Atlanta, Georgia. He grew up from a comfortable middle-class family that's steeped in the tradition of the Southern Black ministry. When he grew up, he helped with a lot of things, like the Montgomery bus boycott on December 5th, 1955. After that, his march came with his I Have a Dream speech on August 28th, 1963. This speech inspired a lot of people, but one person did the unthinkable. James Earl Ray assassinated Dr. King on April 4th, 1968 in his hotel room. What Dr. King would tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today is that if we work together to fight for our rights, we can make a change. If we try our best, we could do our best. This man made an inspiring speech to the world. If Dr. King can do it, we can do it. When we do this, we fight with our words instead of our fists to tell what's right. Dr. King is the reason why there is fewer racism in the whole world. Dr. King made an inspiration. He did that. I'm gonna go back to present time. Last year, the first black woman to run for president, but lost. I could tell that Dr. King would be upset to hear this because over 65% of Americans think that a woman can't run for president or mayor. This is why something like this has happened. On the good side, in schools, us blacks and whites can use the same bathrooms, water fountains, classrooms, and more. I can tell that Dr. King would be happy to hear this because over 50% of CPS public schools are equal to both races. Even though we made a little change throughout our lives, we still got a lot to work on. If we just keep believing and keep trying, we can make a change. We will make a change in the world. Thank you for hearing my speech.
Thank you, Caden Phelps. And now, student number 4, Oluwaferanmi Ekamode, 5th grade, Joseph Warren Elementary.
What will Martin Luther King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today? Hi, I am Oluwaferanmi Ekamode, and I'm a proud student at Joseph Warren Elementary School. Let me start by saying a few words about our honorable and peaceful Martin Luther King. These words are about Martin Luther's achievements you probably did not know about. Did you know that Martin Luther King has a Bachelor of Arts degree, a Bachelor of Divinity degree, and a Doctor of Philosophy degree? And now back to the question, what will Martin Luther King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today? Let me refer to the war currently going on between Russia and Ukraine, where thousands of innocent children are being killed day after day by Russian soldiers and invaders. The reason this is happening is because Russia is greedy. Russia wants to own a lot of land from Ukraine, so they are sending bombs to kill and inhabit Ukraine's land. I believe that Martin Luther King will not put up to what is happening today. He will tell us not to fight with violence, but to fight with peace and patience, not only in Ukraine, but places all around the world, like the war in Gaza and Israel. He will tell us to fight with perseverance. He will also tell us to show unity and brotherhood, because Martin Luther King says, and I quote, "We hold this truth to be self-evident that all men are created equally." A day right there in the railroads of Georgia, the son of former slaves and the son of former slave owners were able to sit down at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. A day right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream. Martin Luther King was strong and hardworking, but unfortunately, he died on April 4, 1968. One day, he stepped out onto the balcony of his hotel, and one of his heirs came and shot him in the neck. Martin Luther King did not just die, but he left a legacy for us to follow. Yes, they killed the dreamer, but they could never kill the dream. Just like courage and truth cannot be stopped with a bullet. Because Martin Luther King says, and I quote, "I have a dream where one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of the character. I have a dream." Martin Luther King is upset to the little to no work we have accomplished. Our family and friends are also upset because they are still getting mistreated. But I believe if we could follow these steps, we can make this nation great again. Because I, Oluwaferanmi, I have a dream where all of African descent will rise beneath the same skies, where sorrow does not exist and no soul will be missed. Once again, my name is Oluwaferanmi Ekamode, and I'm a proud student at Joseph Warren Elementary School. Have a wonderful and peaceful rest of your day.
Thank you, Oluwaferanmi Ekamode. Student number 5. We have Lariah Patterson, 5th grade, Boys and Girls Club of Chicago.
It is speeches like Dr. King, "I have a dream," that inspire me to deliver my own. Today I stand before you nervous but excited. But the question, what would Dr. King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in this country today? It's an easy one to answer. Dr. King will tell us to spread happiness in a world where others may feel down, to serve as a good example for young generations, and to persevere during hard times. It is people in this country suffering things like natural disasters, illness, and bullying. I believe spreading happiness is my responsibility. I comfort loved ones with laughter and standing up when others are being mean. My club staff say I'm a great example for my peers. I have one younger brother and one younger sister. They watch me play and talk with others. This teaches them a value of treating others nicely and helping them make friends. I don't always know the answer to schoolwork, and it's tempting to give up. Instead, I keep doing something until I get it right. I persevere. Dr. King and his other black leaders didn't help end segregation overnight. They were knocked down a few times, but persevered because they wanted the freedom ring to come true. So remember this, even when the world like this upside down, it is our responsibility as citizens and leaders in this country today to spread happiness, to be an example, always persevere.
Thank you, Lariah Patterson. And now we have student number 6, Mackenzie James, the 4th grade in Leonard Elementary.
Hello, I'm Mackenzie James. I'm a 5th grader at Ted Leonard Regional Gifted Center. I'm here to discuss the question, what would Dr. King tell us about our responsibility as citizens and leaders in America today? Dr. King was a civil rights activist who wanted Black people to be judged by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. He also wanted Black and white kids to have the same educational resources. Finally, he wanted Black and white people to get along. Unfortunately, African Americans are still discriminated against today. On November 16, 2024, at 1:30 p.m., a group of neo-Nazis marched in Columbus, Ohio, holding Nazis' flags and chanting racial slurs against African Americans and Jewish Americans. When this event happened, citizens of Ohio called the authorities to stop this racist parade. Dr. King would be happy with the citizens who called 911. Dr. King would be upset with a group of neo-Nazis marching around Columbus, Ohio, chanting racial slurs against African Americans and Jewish Americans. Dr. King would be happy with the leader Zach Clean, who was Ohio City Attorney, who told the neo-Nazis that their behavior was unacceptable and that they were not welcome in their city. To go back to the question, our responsibility as citizens and leaders is to stand against racism, to dismantle the system. Next, Dr. King wanted Black and white kids to have the same educational resources. One of the educational resources for African Americans in the 1960s was called Freedom Schools. Freedom Schools was a 6-week summer program created by the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or the SNCC. Freedom Schools were created to teach African Americans how to be political actors, writers, and readers. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or the SNCC, doesn't exist anymore, but Freedom Schools still exist today. One of the educational resources for white kids in the 1960s was called computer programming. Computer programming was a computer program that allowed students to check grades, chat with teachers, and study on computers. Also, teachers could chat with students and assign assignments. Today, both Black and white students have access to computer programming. My school uses Aspen, Google Classroom, and Gmail. My classmates and I check our grades in Aspen. We are also able to email teachers with Gmail, and our teachers are also able to assign assignments on Google Classroom. Dr. King would be happy to know that Black students are getting the resources and education they need to survive and to succeed in life. To go back to the question, our responsibility as citizens and leaders is to make sure everyone gets the same amount of education as others, and to make sure to value our education because we didn't have the same education that we have now. Lastly, Dr. King wanted black and white kids and adults to get along. In my personal life, when I was born, I was mostly around my family. Most of my family is African American. When I first started gymnastics at the age of 1, there were white kids there. I never thought it was weird. All I wanted was friends. In preschool, I also gained white friends. In kindergarten, I gained white friends. I'm in 5th grade, and yes, I gained white friends. Dr. King would be happy to know that segregation is mostly gone and equality is mostly here. To go back to the question, our responsibility as citizens and leaders is to be respectful to all. Even if you don't like a person or they are not the same race as you, you can still share a smile. It's always nice. Like when my mom always tells me to be kind and to be a leader. That's how we'll change the world that's around us today. These are all of the characteristics Dr. King would expect all leaders as citizens to have today. Thank you.
Our thanks to Mackenzie James, who's in the 5th grade and not the 4th grade, as it says on the thing. So there you go. All right. Student number 7, Tamia Bennett, who is returning to the stage after competing last year. She's now in the 5th grade at Joseph Warren Elementary.
Greetings. My name is Tamia Bennett. I am a 5th grade student at Joseph Warren Elementary School. It is a pleasure to be here sharing my thoughts on what Dr. Martin Luther King will tell us about our responsibilities as citizens and leaders in America today. Dr. King was a well-known civil rights activist, and he would be disappointed with the little to no work we have done. For example, some whites are still mistreating blacks. To know that Dr. King had faith in us to make the world a better place, and we are failing, should mean something to us. Dr. King dedicated his life to marching for equal rights. Today, people are still fighting for equal rights. People have migrated to America from other countries due to the mistreatment they have received in their own countries. Dr. Martin Luther King often spoke about the deep responsibilities tied to citizenship and leadership, emphasizing the moral and social obligations of individuals to contribute to justice, equality, and the common good. If Dr. King would speak about being citizens and leaders in America today, he might focus on several key principles. One key principle he might focus on is the power of active citizenship. Dr. King believed in the importance of participating actively in the democratic process, from voting to holding institutions accountable. He will tell us One key principle he might focus on is the power of active citizenship. Dr. King believed in the importance of participating actively in the democratic process, from voting to holding institutions accountable. He will likely stress the importance of building. He will likely tell us today to
Go to the end. Go right at the end. What you would say right at the end.
Okay. Dr. King, another key principle he might focus on is leadership rooted in moral courage. King saw leadership as a moral responsibility, requiring citizens and leaders to stand for what is right, even in the face of opposition. Leaders, he would urge, must prioritize principles over popularity and serve as examples of integrity and compassion. He will tell us the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. Another key principle he might focus on is the necessity of unity and collective action. Dr. King will emphasize that progress depends on collaboration across divides. In today's polarized world, he might focus on building bridges, fostering dialogue, and working together to discuss systemic issues such as inequality and climate change. He would tell us we must work together as brothers and sisters or perish together as fools. The final key principle he might focus on, in essence, Dr. King will likely call on all individuals to lead lives with unity and to lead lives guided by love, justice, and a commitment to the greater good.
Good job, Tamia. Tamia Bennett, everyone. Student number 8, we have Bryce Wallace in the 4th grade at Arthur L. Dixon Elementary.
Good morning. My name is Bryce Wallace, and I'm a 4th grader from Arthur Dixon Elementary School. And this marks the 6th annual MLK Junior Oratory Competition. And today, I'll be singing What Would Dr. King Tell Us About Our Responsibilities as Citizens and Leaders in America Today. Dr. King once said in his I Have a Dream speech, I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I chose this because some of those same 4 children became protesters, and that shows that kids can also make change. There's a lot of things we need to work on in America. And for change, we will not take racism. We will stand up and fight with our words, because that is what Dr. King would do. Let's go back to the murder of Breonna Taylor. Breonna was only 26 when on March 13, 2020, a police officer from Louisville Metro Police Department forced entry into her home firing his weapon. And still, not one officer has been charged with shooting and murdering Breonna. I believe Dr. King would be upset because police officers are supposed to make us feel safe. But with the recent situations with officers killing Black people, I believe we will not feel as safe. School shootings have also been high. Almost 35% of schools have been broken into, killing kids, including Blacks. People have been holding a gun for the wrong reason. But there are some things we can do to prevent this from happening. Dr. King once said, fighting does not have to be physical, but can be verbally. You can fight with your words. And that's what we'll do. We can start going on Black Lives Matter walks and start protesting on what is right. These are some things that will most likely decrease gun violence and racism. But there has been a big change from now. For example, Black people can now use the same bathrooms, go to the same restrooms, and use the same water fountains. And Dr. King will be overjoyed to hear that we had our first Black female run for president. Thank you, Foley and Lardner, for hearing my speech.
Good job, Bryce Wallace. And now for our 9th student, we have Mackenzie Hudson, 4th grade, Wendell Smith Elementary.
Greetings, I am Mackenzie Hudson, and I am a fellow student from Wendell Smith Elementary School. Hello, America. Hello, leaders. We are moving. We are moving to the responsibility of going forward. Hold up. Pause. Wait a minute. While Dr. King might not just agree with us moving towards the responsibility as citizens of America, there has been a halt in America. Dr. King will tell us to be ourselves and not let anyone control us. He will also say that our skin color doesn't matter because no matter what, we'll still be doing the same things. It's our responsibility to stop racism. We have moved on from using different bathrooms, sitting at the back of the bus, going to different schools, and using different fountains. So therefore, it's our responsibility to uphold the dream of Dr. King. We as American people must make sure Dr. King's dreams come true. We must move forward to changing our mindsets and hearts by loving our brothers and sisters. It's our responsibility to get our education and go to school every day. It is our responsibility to change all the violence and trauma in our community. Do you know that crime continues to increase? Do you know that violence and gunshots continue to be? Do you know that domestic violence is on the rise? We must go back and revisit the responsibility of love, hope, justice, and kindness. We can't be satisfied until justice rolls down the water stream. He had a dream that little black boys and little black girls could hold hands and play with the little white boys and the little white girls. He had a dream that one day this nation would rise up. Therefore, it's our responsibility to come together to make a difference in America. It's our responsibility to fix what happened 60 years ago and what's still happening today. Dr. King says it's our responsibility to be respectful and not judge people's skin color. We need to spread kindness because if you are good, you get good things. We need to stand up to ourselves. Dr. King's I Had a Dream speech was for stopping racism, not just to laugh at and not just to make fun of it. And if you're asking, why is a little girl talking about a speech that happened 60 years ago? It's not because I need to do it, it's because I want to do it. I want to make Dr. King proud. White people and black people should not have to separate because of skin color. For example, Ruby Bridges went to a white school only for whites. Why do we have to separate because of skin color? Great question, because why do we? If we don't know, we can solve it. Let's begin to solve issues and problems in America. Let's begin to unite with our fellow brothers and sisters regardless of skin color. Why? It's our responsibility. It has been Mackenzie Hudson, and as a future leader of America, it's my responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Mackenzie Hudson. And now for our 10th and final student, Aiden Marshall, 5th grade, Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago.
A wise man once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Today, racism continues to cast a shadow that excludes people who look like me. It is Dr. King's leadership and fight for equality that has beamed the light that inspires qualities such as being a role model, showing helpfulness and kindness that allows for growth in our world. I am Aiden Marshall, a 10-year-old representative of the James R. Jordan Boys and Girls Club and future educator. To be an educator is to be a role model, and that's exactly what I am. I uplift my club with a positive attitude and open arms. My motto is, if I do good, they do good too. Dr. King will tell us that being a role model is important because it means that there are upstanding citizens leading the way to success for our country. Our country was once segregated, but Dr. King used his power as a role model to bring people together, to be a light. Another thing that brings people together is helpfulness. Dr. King showed this by fighting for our civil rights. I show this by making people who feel left out feel at home, by being a friend. Helping others can start a cycle. One person does it and others follow behind. We are the United States, but still divided by things like gun violence and racism. Remember, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. That's why kindness is so important. I already show kindness by sharing snacks and lending my friends $1 or $2 when they are in need. Dr. King had empathy for his people, and the rest of our world needs to show some empathy as well. Dr. King would tell us as citizens and leaders today in America is to continue to drive out darkness with light. Be a good example. Help our neighbors. Be a part of the cycle that allows for love to ourselves and to others.
Hayden Marshall, thank you. Let's give all of our people a big round of applause. Stand up, stand up. So great, so great. They were all wonderful. So you judges have your work cut out for you. They were all good. While the judges are deliberating, please take this time to stretch your legs, visit the restroom, grab a snack or a drink. We will reconvene promptly at 12 noon to announce the winners. Thank you very much.
It's time to be powerful and live a dream of a man who left a legacy behind through his actions.
Dr. King said, I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood.
Congrats is in order to 3 Chicago Public Schools 5th graders who won a Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory contest today.
They were impressive. The event was sponsored by Foley and Lardner Law Firm in honor of Martin Luther King holiday.
The question of hope is never to be taken lightly. Dr. King had an ambitious dream because he knew that any worthwhile future would be built upon hope.
Young people force us away from complacency, constantly pushing us a little closer to justice. You're most often at the forefront of change.
When I think about what Dr. King would say to us about hope for tomorrow, I believe he would be proud of all of you for standing here today.
The thing that inspired me to do this was the things that's going on in the news and around the world, and it made me think about him.
Hope. Today, our world has just become a place of hatred. Not only outside of our community, but within our community as well.
The firm tries to pride itself on being very connected to our communities, promoting cultural diversity, and also with our profession, giving a chance of young students to get out and advocate and be public speakers at a young age. And we really thought this was a nice, memorable opportunity for them to show their research and passion.
And to see the students and their engagement and their seriousness and the way in which they have analyzed the issue and the questions is really inspiring. It gives me such a sense of hope for our future to see our students engage on some tough issues of community and equity at such an early age.
This is an amazing event. It gives us the opportunity to showcase the talent of our young people. I'm always proud to see the great work that they're doing. Great way to fuel us to show that we're investing in the next generation of leaders. And I'm just so proud.
We have heard so many times that it's hard, you can't be it if you can't see it. And so for students to see other students, or young people to see other students who look like them, who are them, who they can identify with, doing and giving these amazing and powerful speeches helps to uplift other young people.
I ask you today, are all men created equal? If the answer is yes, then I ask, are all men treated equally?
My advice to students who are interested in issues, history, public speaking, any career that involves engaging with people, to think about participating in a program like this. It gives you a chance to be thoughtful, work with your teachers, see what other students are doing in other schools and how you compare to your peers.
When I was in 4th and 5th grade, I was not thinking that I would be a lawyer, and I did not had not yet built the courage that these young students have to stand up and give the speeches that they're giving. They've inspired me with their hope, with their positivity, with their thoughtfulness, and with their courage. It's hard to stand up in front of a bunch of people, adults that you don't know, and to give a speech and to give it strongly and powerfully.
This is why we can't let hope die. You see, hope is a change. And the change we want is a better world without violence.
time to be powerful and live a dream of a man who left a legacy behind through his actions.
Dr. King said, so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war with the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood.
Congrats is in order to 3 Chicago Public Schools 5th graders who won a Martin Luther King Jr. Oratory contest today.
They were impressive. The event was sponsored by Foley and Lardner Law Firm in honor of Martin Luther King holiday.
The question of hope is never to be taken lightly. Dr. King had an ambitious dream because he knew that any worthwhile future would be built upon hope.
We are about to announce the winners. Just waiting for Z to come to her seat. What? And Frank. There's Frank. All right. So the finalists are, so we're going to give you the finalists and then the top three. All right. Mackenzie Hudson. Where is she? Yeah, come up and get your plaque. All right. Caden Phelps. All right. Lariah Patterson. Mackenzie James. Samira Howard. Tamia Bennett. Woohoo! Bryce Wallace. And the third place winner is Oluwaferanmi Ekamode. Second place winner, the second place winner is Aiden Marshall. And the first place winner of the 2025 oratorial contest is Harmony Daniels. Congratulations once again to all of our winners. It's been an absolute pleasure to join you for another extraordinary oratory competition, and thank you for having me again. It's an honor to be here. Please join me in welcoming Frank back to the stage for closing comments.
Thank you. Thank you, Leanne. We are so lucky to have Leanne each and every year, and a big special thanks to Leanne. Thank you so much. I did want to also just make another call out. With each of those plaques and those awards, each of our students had a personalized letter from Governor Pritzker, so a really special note and thank you to the governor's staff and team and to Senator Sims for arranging that. That was really, really nice, so thank you for that. With that, I wanted to have a few more comments to thank some folks here and have a big special round of applause at the very end. But thank you. This is our 6th year, and we couldn't be more proud of how this has grown. Everyone here at Foley and Lardner is incredibly grateful for all of the folks that make this really come together and to set us on the right path for this incredible weekend that we will celebrate honoring Dr. King. I did want to take a pause right now. As I mentioned early on, none of this could be possible without the incredible support of the teachers, the administrators, the parents, the guardians, and everyone in the family. I love hearing everything from babies crying to aunts and uncles being here, parents, grandparents. This is what it's all about. These are the kind of emotional connections, the importance, these memorable moments that I hope your families will never forget. So with that, I would like to ask each of our student participants to stand up now and to recognize and give a shout out to all those folks in your family and school that made this possible. Great job, kids. You really did an awesome job. So with that, each year we are incredibly inspired by these kids and these students, what they share with us and how much we really learn from them. To our 4th graders, we look forward to having you hopefully join us again next year. To our 5th graders, like we said at the beginning, we look forward to following your paths on your next endeavors and what you'll be doing in school, and we look forward to staying in touch with you. As we close for today, I'm going to wind up a couple things. You know, like we said at the beginning, this is really a celebration about learning, about a celebration of the power of young minds and young voices. And like some of our guests who spoke on video, never forget how powerful you can be, regardless of how old you are or where you are in school. You can really make an enormous impact, and hopefully this platform today provided that. One thing we talk about at our firm is trying to make connections each and every day, make connections with our colleagues, make connections with our clients, and make connections with our community. And today was a very special day to do all of that, and we thank all of our judges for being a part of this and doing this with us. Making connections that we try to strive for make us all feel closer with each other. It makes us all feel more familiar. It takes this great big world and makes it much, much smaller and personal. And most importantly, when we make those connections, we realize, and especially today, we realize how much more we are similar than we are different, and we can never, ever forget that. I want to thank the students and everyone here for helping us make those connections with Dr. King, reminding us each and every time we do this event how special we were to have his presence with us. And to go into this weekend with him in mind and how we can continue to be our very best and be our very best together. With that, I want to thank you all again for joining us. I wish you all safe travels back home, and thank you for another wonderful event together. Okay. Thank you all.